And now, 7 steps to great writing. How to write a fantastic and amazing essay in response to today's writing prompts. This process will help you respond to prompts that ask you to cite information from assigned readings. This process is broken down into 7 steps. First, you need to understand the question that you're being asked so that you can respond to it properly. Then you're going to look at the question and think about what you already know about this topic. Activate your background knowledge and use that to help you decide on what your answer is going to be. Then you'll read the assigned passages to find evidence to support your answer. Next, you're going to plan your body paragraphs with a pair of aces. Then you'll plan your introduction, plan your conclusion, and then sit down with your plan to write down a fantastic and amazing essay. Now there's a couple of things here that might appear to be out of order. The first is that you're going to decide on your answer before you read the passages. This is by design because deciding what you're going to say will give you a purpose for reading and help you pull information out of those passages far more effectively. The other one that seems a little bit out of order is that you're going to plan your body paragraphs before you plan your introduction. The introduction comes first for the reader. It doesn't have to come first for the writer. Let's take a look at these steps in a little bit more detail. The first is to understand the question. This is where you're going to read and analyze the prompt. Now, the first thing to think about, if you see an unfamiliar word in the prompt, a word that you don't recognize or don't understand, write it down on your planning sheet and then start reading. Anytime there's a word in the prompt that you don't understand, especially if not understanding it keeps you from being able to answer the question, chances are pretty good that it will be defined near the top of your first reading. Now, once you've got it, jot down what it means and then go back to planning. Don't read all the way through your reading to find a very specific piece of information. The next thing you're going to do is look at the prompt and write key words on your planning sheet. Write quick notes to remember and understand what it is that you're being asked to do. And then analyze the prompt and ask yourself, what is it that they want? Great writing considers the reader. So think about what your reader is going to be looking for. The next step is to activate your background knowledge and decide on your answer. Pause for a moment to ask yourself, what is it that you already know about this topic? What do you already think about this topic? Have you had any experiences that relate to this topic? What are your thoughts and opinions? This background knowledge will help you organize your thoughts and really understand what it is you're going to write about. Jot some quick notes on your planning sheet about your background knowledge. Then you need to decide on your answer. Now, for an informative or an expository prompt, it'll probably be on a topic about which you have some background knowledge. Might not be a lot, but you'll know something related to that topic. But don't worry. With this kind of a prompt, even if you don't know anything about it, all of the information that you'll need will be in the passages that they give you. So decide on how you're going to answer. For an argumentative or persuasive prompt, you know that they're going to provide balanced selections with balanced arguments. That means that whether you choose for or against, whether you choose yes or no, you'll be able to find evidence in the passages to support your side. And you'll be able to find evidence in the passages to support the opposition so that you can prepare a counter-argument. The other thing we know about persuasive prompts is they're probably going to be on a topic about which you have some sort of an opinion, so pick a side. You can decide that at this point so that when you read, you have a better sense of what you're looking for. Now, keep in mind that if you can't decide on an answer, you're going to figure that out in step 3. So let's move on to that now. In step 3, you're reading for evidence. This gives you a purpose for reading. So as you read, you can look for new information that you need, information that can support your claim. You can look specifically for statistics, anecdotes, details, quotes that you might use in your essay. And as you go along, you're going to make note of what you need. Jot down notes for each passage with a paragraph number. Notice that each is highlighted there. You need to use evidence from all the passages that you're given. Most of the time you'll be given 2 passages. You might be given a few extra items, but the goal is to write an essay that draws from both passages. Also, as you're going along, highlight or underline any possible quotations that you might use in your essay. Sometimes the articles you're given say things in just the right way for you to use them. But if you are not planning to quote the author, when you jot down notes, write them down in your own words. It'll make it a lot easier to construct your own paragraphs out of it later. Now, in step 4, this is the bulk of it. We're going to plan our body paragraphs, and we're going to plan body paragraphs with a pair of aces. If you want to ace the test or the assignment, then you need strong aces. ACE is an acronym to help you plan each body paragraph. Start planning with the body paragraphs, by the way. Don't start with the introduction because you can't introduce what you don't know. Have you ever tried to introduce someone that you know nothing about? Hi, I'd like you to meet Bob. And then it stops there. You've got nothing to say. Once you've planned your body paragraphs, you'll be able to plan a better introduction. Now, keep in mind that strong aces make for a strong essay. You need at least a pair of aces for a strong paragraph. 3 aces is better, but only if they're strong aces. Don't pull an ace out of nowhere. That's never good. Now, you might be asking yourself, what exactly is an ace? I don't understand that. Well, here it is. It's an acronym where the A stands either for your answer or your argument. Now, in an informative essay, you'll be giving a part of your answer in each ace. In an argumentative or persuasive essay, you'll be making your argument with each of your aces. Then, you need to back up that answer or back up that argument with citations from your source. Then you'll have to explain how the citation supports your answer or supports your argument. You have to make that connection for the reader. You can't rely on the reader to do it for you. Now, each body paragraph is going to be a part of your answer or your argument. You're not going to rewrite your thesis in every body paragraph. Body paragraphs make one point, one part of the whole. Then as you decide on your points, you want to look at the evidence that you've collected from step 3. Decide what points you can make, what claims you can support, and those are going to be the building blocks for your essay. We'll talk about this in a lot more detail in a future video, because there's a lot going on here. But as you've planned your body paragraphs with your solid pair of aces, now you get to plan your introduction. Now that you know your essay, you can introduce it better. Your introduction is going to need a couple of things. It's going to start with a hook to draw the reader in. That's kind of very broad at the top. Then you'll use a transitional statement to get the reader ready for your point and bring them down to your thesis statement, which is the point that you're making. This kind of looks like an upside-down triangle where the hook is very broad and it narrows down to your thesis or your point at the bottom. Your conclusion has the opposite shape. In your conclusion, you're going to restate or rephrase your thesis. You're basically going to remind the reader of the point that you've made. Then you're going to provide a transition, and a great way to finish is to revisit your hook, to complete the circle for your reader, to go back to that anecdote or that statistic that you used in the beginning to grab your reader's attention and remind them of it, somehow give a little twist or complete it at the end. If you've done the rest of your planning well, this paragraph is practically going to plan itself, which leads you straight into step number 7. Write a fantastic and amazing essay. You'll start with your introduction, then you'll write your body paragraphs, each with a pair of aces, and wrap up with your conclusion for a strong, well-formed essay. And those are the 7 steps to great writing. Follow those steps, and you'll ace that essay.